Hi everyone, this is Yana Smakula for SimonsSTM.com. Welcome back for another Yeepy for Yana episode. In this video, I'm color blocking and mass producing. I hope you'll join me. All supplies I'm using for this project are listed and linked in the video description below. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm using the fabulous One for the Books stamp set today, as well as a set of coordinating dies to create my cards. I have had my eye on this stamp set for quite a long time, ever since it first released, and I'm glad to have an opportunity to play with this set today. I decided I wanted to stamp some books for my friends and make some book cards. So here I'm starting by stamping the book cover, the main image using honey ink. I'm using MISTI stamping tool and doing all of my stamping on Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. I'm double stamping this just to make sure I have a nice impression, and it's very easy to do with the MISTI. And I'm also stamping multiples. I already have this image lined up. It's a building image, or a layering image in a way. So if I'm using a MISTI, I might as well stamp multiples. I am going to use the same color of ink for all of my books. I have this nice color combination that I'm really fond of for this project. It's a basic color combination, really. It's yellow and pink and just a touch of green, but I feel like it really pops and really works great for these cards. Next, I'm stamping the second layer, and this is sort of the spine detail and the book detail, and I'm using Mocha for this, so it's a nice dark brown. Yellow and brown work really well together. You can also try and use black, but I wanted brown because, I don't know, it felt like the right color here. I will be using black for a sentiment, so I tried not to use the same color as I would use for the sentiment, so I went with a super dark brown. The next layer is one with the pages, where you can actually see the pages. And here I'm using Latte. This is the lightest brown I have in my stash. And I'm either single stamping or double stamping this, depending if I have a nice ink coverage on my books. You can see I'm just rotating my panel. I actually have multiple panels. I am showing you how I'm stamping just one panel, but I am stamping multiple panels with the books because, like I said, I have all the images in my MISTI, so I might as well make multiples. Plus, it was a fun project to do, and I had a wonderful time creating these books. For the next layer, I'm using Cappuccino, and I'm using this to stamp the little detail in the pages at the top of the book. So it's just a slightly darker brown. It's one between the Mocha and the Latte, so a nice little in-between medium brown color. There are additional layers that you can stamp onto the book, especially onto the front of the book, and I tried stamping them onto some of my test panels, but in the end, I decided not to add any additional stamping here and just keep the front of the book free from frames and detail. There are lots of fabulous examples on the SimonsSTM website showing you how you can use the additional images from the stamp set to build the cover of your book. I decided I wanted to bring in a different stamp set, and I brought one that is called Timeless Blooms. I found a cute little rose set in this stamp set, and I decided to stamp little roses. So here's a look at this stamp set. It's a beautiful 6x8 stamp, the same size as the one with the book. So it's a large set, but I'm only using a teeny tiny rose cluster from this set. So I'm first stamping the leaves, and I'm using Pearfection ink for that. It's my go-to green. It's like a classic timeless green ink. So stamping the leaves in green, and I'm going to stamp the leaves at the top and also at the bottom of the book front. So the leaves and the rose that I will add in just a second will frame a sentiment for this card. Now for the sentiment, I will be using several different sentiment options. There are 3 sentiment options in this stamp set, and I wanted to do every single one because I wanted to make cards for different occasions and also for different friends of mine. I have one particular friend, she loves to read. And she actually has like a reading blog. She posts book reviews in there, and she got me into reading. She inspired me to start reading, to actually go ahead and buy books and enjoy a book every day, enjoy a little bit of reading every day. So when I started playing with this stamp set, I definitely had her in mind, and I intend to give one of these cards to her. Now, I have other friends who like to read, so I kept them in mind when I was stamping the rest of the cards. With the stamping done, I moved on to stamping the sentiments. And as you can see, we have thank you, I love you, and happy birthday. Happy birthday is a good one because you can never have too many birthday cards. And then thank you is also a good one because, well, we always give thank you cards. I love you is one you would give to your loved one, so you probably won't need to mass produce the one with the I love you, but I still stamped 2 of those sentiments just in case. I might use that sentiment later. I used the VersaFine ONYX black ink for stamping the sentiments, and I cut them out using the coordinating dies in my Platinum 6 die cutting and embossing machine. I also die cut additional blank panels or created blank die cuts, and I will use those to back my sentiment die cuts up with another layer. I like to do this. I often do this because I feel like this creates sturdier die cuts, and it makes the cardstock just, I don't know, makes it feel better in my hand. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I used a coordinating die, and I die cut the books as well. Now, when you cut the book out, you can also see there is a little piece there at the bottom for the bookmark. I did not stamp the bookmark right away because I knew that I would need to cut the image out using the coordinating die and then do the stamping, then stamp the book. So this is why I had to basically pause my stamping, do the die cutting, and then add the little bookmark at the very bottom. If you are not using a coordinating die, you can definitely stamp the bookmark anywhere wherever you like on the book. You can maybe even try to add it at the top of the book or on the side, I don't know, or anywhere, at the bottom of the book, totally up to you. But if you are using a coordinating die, I would suggest you cut the image out first and then add the little bookmark, then stamp the bookmark. For the books, I also cut additional blank layers from scrap white cardstock, and now I'm using my Barely Art glue to adhere the pieces together. If you are using thick cardstock for stamping, such as Simon Says stamp, 120-pound cardstock or 130-pound cardstock, you probably won't need to add another layer to make your die cuts sturdier because that cardstock is really nice and thick. But I'm all out of that cardstock, so I'm using my Nina Solar White, and it is 80-pound, so it's a little bit too thin for my liking. So whenever I work with that cardstock, I just back it up, especially if I know I will be foam mounting that onto my card, and I know I will because I always do that. Now, with all the parts and pieces done, we can move on to creating backgrounds. And for this card, I wanted to do bold, color-blocked backgrounds. And I'm using cardstock from Simon Says stamp. I have beautiful cotton candy cardstock and honey. These pretty much match the color of my stamping. The cotton candy is a little bit lighter than the pink stamping, but the honey cardstock, I use the honey ink to stamp the book, so it almost matches the color, the yellow color that I used for stamping the book. I'm making A2 cards, so I'm first going to cut my panels to A2, so 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and I'm using my paper trimmer to do that. Next, I'm going to place 2 panels together, so a yellow and a pink panel, position them in my paper trimmer at 2 3/4 mark. That's a half of 5.5, and slice it in half. This will give me 2 equal panels to create a front for an A2 card. Now I have a bunch of panels, and I'm going to use them to create colorful backgrounds for my cards. So I have a pink at the top and yellow at the bottom, but not all cards are going to be like that. I will go with yellow at the top and pink at the bottom for some other cards. I've already created the backgrounds. You can see them here, and I added stamping. So there are 5 sub-sentiment strips here in this stamp set, and I wanted to use each one of them. So I did. I stamped those sentiments in VersaFine ONYX black ink, and they read, You Are My Favorite Love Story. I paired that one with the sentiment that says, I love you. That's an obvious choice. Hope, it's one for the books. I paired that one with Happy Birthday. It's a lovely sentiment. I'm going to give this one to my friend that loves to read for her birthday. Thank you. You are the best in my book. That's a lovely sentiment. Here's to your next chapter. And I paired that one again with a Happy Birthday. And then for being part of my story, and I pair that one with thank you. So a fabulous stamp set with a cool book image and cool sentiments. I used foam adhesive squares and I foam mounted the books in the center of my panels slightly at an angle. And then I used, again, foam adhesive squares to foam mount the sentiments in the center of that open white area of the books. And here's a look at the finished card created using this stamp set and a fun color blocking technique. I encourage you to give this technique a try. If you are ever unsure what to do for a background next time, see if you can just create bold blocks of color using colored cardstock. It's a little bit more fun than using just a single color of cardstock, but it's also very easy to do because all you need for this type of a background is 2 colors of cardstock and a paper trimmer and some glue. So I hope you'll give it a try. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Love you guys, and I'll see you again next time.
I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.